If you have any audio issues or like if you're unable to see my screen, let me know. Hope everyone can hear me well, right? All
Yeah, we can.
all right. So before we get into a generative AI, so this is basically a generative AI course. We will understand what is an AI. AI stands for artificial intelligence, right? Let's take a robo. So brain is basically, false like we build the brain using machine learning model or deep learning model. This deep learning or machine learning you might have heard is basically, works to build the models which acts like a brain in robo. But the whole ecosystem, you know, will fall under AI. Let me give another example. Let's take Tesla car. You know that it is semi-autonomous, right? Basically, it takes input from various sensors that it has. Okay, takes input from various sensors and it feeds to model that has been built using machine learning or deep learning, preferably deep learning. Deep learning is modern approach, whereas machine learning is traditional approach, old approach. So we don't use machine learning anymore for complex problems, like in this case. So we use deep learning. So it feeds the model and it gives the output. What kind of output it is? An instruction like stop, move right, or move left, or move straight, right? Or take U-turn. So basically, it gives instruction. Just by giving instruction doesn't mean that the whole car will act accordingly, right? The ecosystem need to build to follow these instructions. Okay, so the whole ecosystem will come under AI, whereas the model, the brain, right? So will be I know we use machine learning or deep learning to build that to build it. So like let me take a more practical examples. Let's take web application, right? So we have this chat apps that is being embedded in web applications. You might have seen in various web applications. This is one of the examples for AI. And this this whole application we can call it as an AI product. Again, the model, the brain is being we create it using machine learning or deep learning. Most of the time we focus on machine learning or deep learning. Of course, we deploy it through API. Let me show you an example. This is how it's going to be. Let's take text summarization. So this is how the whole file is going to be. We fine tune it on our own customized data. We quantize it. And of course, I'm using few technical terms that you might not be aware. So don't worry about it. So this is the file that we test these models, the models that we have quantized, and then we wrap it in the form of API. I mean to say we dockerize it, we expose it in the form of an API, and we can test it. And the whole set of commands been given here. So the complete scripts and the various use cases will be provided to you. I mean, by the end of the course, you'll get exposure to at least 10 to 15 generative AI projects, apart from 4 to 5 machine learning or deep learning basic projects. Okay, so I hope you got an understanding what is an AI, what is machine learning and deep learning, right? Any questions on that? Even though our job is not to build the whole ecosystem, but we expose it through API. Sometimes we even build applications to demonstrate to the web developers or managers or to our clients. But that won't be a full-fledged application. The web developers will take these models and embed in their applications. So if we expose our models through API, they will take it and embed in their backend or front end, wherever. Okay. Any questions on what is an AI and what is ML and deep learning? Clear, right? Okay. Now we will get into generative AI. So generative AI, the whole idea of generative AI is to generate content. What kind of content it is? It can be images or videos, text or code. It can be even audio. So usually we generate these sort of content. So that will come under generative AI. Basically, generative AI is a subdomain in AI. There are various domains in AI. Generative AI is one of it. Okay, most of the requirement in AI right now is on generative AI. So that's the reason this course is basically drafted for generative AI, learners. And this course does not assume anything. I mean to say, basically, we need to have mathematics and statistics knowledge, right? And Python basics, of course, it is must. Most of the stuff like you can see that the whole code has been written using Python. And this one, I mean to say, even the Flask API, this whole thing is being written in Python. So Python is must. So you not to know Python and you not to know any mathematics and statistics to start this course. But thing is, the prerequisite to take up this course, at least you need to have one programming language exposure. It can be C, C++, Java, or any programming language. If you know what is, if I start explaining the code, if you're in a position to understand, that is good enough. And some of you may feel that, you look for no code solutions. See, if you want to survive in IT industry, no code solution is not a solution at all. You have to work on code. But one good part is right now, the generative AI tools can generate the code. For example, let me show you. Um, Here I have few Olama models, open source models. These models are completely free. So where I got these models, Olama here. We can download these models. Of course, depends on the resource that you have. I mean to say, right now I have around 12 GB GPU, so I can download up to 12 billion parameters. I can't go for 27 billion parameter. 27 billion parameter is very high. If you look at this, it's around 17 GB. 17 GB may not fit in my system. So if you have production machine, obviously you will have, a better GPU, right? Obviously you can go for a bigger model, but the same the process flow will not change. Whether you use it with a small model, 1B model, or, this one, or, some 200 billion parameter model, the same process flow. So you can test, if at all you don't have any GPU in your machine, try it with 1 billion parameter models. I may try with 12 billion parameter, the same process flow for 1 billion. I'll explain you how to switch to 1 billion, right? But in production, you may go for a bigger model, bigger, more number of parameters it is, more the size it is, more better it is. Okay. Let me show you how we can use these tools. Let me, 12, yeah, maybe I will go with this one. Generate a Flask API to feed a deep learning model. So earlier it used to be like we need to know data structures and algorithms, and we need to know system design, right? Now it is not must. These tools will help us to generate the code. Your job is to stitch these modules and make up an end-to-end project. Most of the use cases will try to provide, in the form of code, so you can use it in production. So these sort of, these are projects you don't get it online too. So we have prepared for film mass, matrix, question answer, sentence similarity simulation. Not just these projects. You can see that it has generated the code, right? you can start utilizing it. Of course, you can give more prompts. This completely local one. So someone asked whether we're going to explain tools or not. Yes, we do explain certain number of tools, but the tools are not like Power BI or Excel. They embed this AI part in their in a Power BI and Excel and various other tools, but that is something is quite easy. We use dedicated tools for generative AI content. Okay, who asked that question? I hope you got an idea like what sort of tools we use. It's not just MSTY, we have LM Studio and various other tools, and we can even test it in our terminal also. Let me show you that. Let's try it. Okay, Olama run. Let's take Pi 4. Here I have a Pi 4 model. Let me try that. You can ask any sort of question as long as it's relevant. It is loading up the model. If you look at this, here you can see GPU, right? So once it loaded the model, I think the Pi 4 is somewhere around 9.1 GB. It's going to reflect here. That's the reason it is taking time. So initially it takes time to load the model. You can see that 9.3 billion, right? It has been switched from 1.5 to somewhere around 10. All right. Now you can see that it is asking to enter prompt. So let's take what is a simple question. What is generative AI? We can even use terminals. In some case, you are not going to get GUI, graphical user interface. So it's going to be complete terminal based. In such case, you need to use terminal based LLMs. You can see that it has answered, right? The same question, like whatever we asked earlier, I'm going to ask it again. Uh, generate class API to feed deep learning model. You can see that it is saying that you have to install this, and this is the project structure. This is how the folders should be, folders and files should be, and here is the code. This is the code. Okay, how we execute this? This is how we execute it. And in the when it comes to terminal, especially in Linux, this is how we can test this API. So this is the whole thing. So it's giving the complete explanation along with the code. Not just the code, it will explain you how to install it, what all the prerequisites that you have to install, and how to execute it in various, this is basically we execute in Windows. Once this will make sure that even we can do that in Linux too. This will make sure that the application is going to be up and running, and we can test that API or the app using this one. Okay. Let me exit this. Okay. Let me get back. This one. Yeah, here it is. I hope you got an idea like what is generative AI. Now I'm going to show you a few examples. Let's take what is generative AI. It's going to give us the output like this. Summarizing text as an example for summarizing text. So we give text and it's going to summarize it into few lines. And it can even generate code with a prompt. You can see an example here. It can even generate images like this. You can even generate videos and audio too. But right now, generating images or video are not production grade. And for audio, we don't have any production grade open source models. We have one reliable audio API that is being given by 11 Labs, but that is very expensive. This one. text to speech and speech to text. It's quite expensive. We don't use it in production much, but most of the focus right now is on, text or code, generating text or code. In text itself, there are various use cases. No, it's not just one. You can see that fill mass, question answer, sentence similarity, summarization, text classification, text generation, machine translation from one language to another language. This is again classification. Okay. So even though we're going to discuss, various output formats like text, code, images, videos, and audio, but primarily we are going to focus on text and code. So those models, we call it as LLMs, large language models. Okay. Okay. Any questions so far? You can unmute yourself and raise questions, not to wait till the end of the session. And someone asked what sort of tools or frameworks we use, right? So we start with Python and NumPy and Pandas for data analysis. So we don't use Power BI. We use libraries, Pythonic libraries for data analysis. These are the two libraries we use predominantly. And Matplotlib and Seaborn for visualization. Again, we don't use Power BI or Tableau, but I will explain you how to, how to connect with Python, Power BI and Tableau. Okay. We'll see. I will show you like how to create visualization Power BI and Tableau, but this is not a data analysis course. This is generative AI course. So we are going to focus more on Matplotlib and Seaborn for visualization. Mathematics and statistics, which is a prerequisite for AI, so it's going to be part of this course. I will provide the complete notes, so not to worry about the notes. Let me show you an example, like how the notes is going to be. Uh, so let's take Python itself. So the complete notes will be given. Okay. These are the scripts, in fact. We should not call it as notes. And mathematics and statistics. You can see, let's take covariance. So we'll provide you with an example. Of course, explanation too. So correlation, sampling techniques. So the entire notes will be given. So by the end of the course, you'll get around 300 to 500 gigs of, files. If at all you follow it, the whole course, if you start practicing it. So you need at least 500 gigs of free space. I'll get back to this one. So yeah, when it comes to deep learning, we use either PyTorch or TensorFlow. Right now, PyTorch is more preferred. If you look at the script, this is completely PyTorch based. We use PyTorch for fine tuning. These are all PyTorch code. You can use PyTorch here. I use GPU version. You can use CPU version too. There are two versions, in fact, available for PyTorch. Okay, this like there are CPU version, and we can even go for GPU version. In my machine, I work on using I work on Quota 12.8. But don't worry about Coda or even GPU. You can try with small models if you have only CPU. Hello? Venkat sir?
Hello.
Hello? Yeah,
Sir,
Venkat, right? Yeah.
నేను క్యాండిడేట్ని.
Okay. So I thought it's Venkat sir. 1 second.
No,
Yeah.
I'm not Venkat.
All right. If you have any questions, let me know.
Yeah, sure. Think all are left.
Okay, so it's not just TensorFlow. We don't use it predominantly. So most of the code we write it using PyTorch for deep learning, especially for generative AI. We use LangChain. and LangGraph and LangSmith. And LangFlow also is a part of this course. If at all you look for a no-code solution, LangFlow is going to be, LangFlow is basically built on top of LangChain. So you will get the complete stack. And Git for version control and GitHub again for version control. Docker is for microservices. So in order to create content, we use Docker, but when it comes to deployment, we use Kubernetes cluster. And ChromaDB or FIAS is basically for vector databases. So when we take text, we convert into vectors, numbers. In fact, it's an array, and we store it in vector databases. And when it comes to cloud, we are going to discuss, Azure AI Foundry and Azure Amazon Bedrock and GCP also, GCP Vertex AI. So you're going to get an idea on how to utilize this API, this generative AI services in all GCP, all the cloud services like GCP, Amazon, and Azure. Okay, and when it comes to API deployment, we use Amazon EKS or Azure Kubernetes service. When it comes to storing this vector databases in cloud, we use either Amazon DynamoDB or Azure Cosmos DB. Okay. These are contain registries. So in order to store the image, Docker image, we use either ECR or Azure Content Registry. And when it comes to platforms, we use Hugging Face or even Olama models. Hugging Face and Olama are basically platforms wherein you will get access to free open source models. Okay, so the one that I have used is predominantly you personally use Olama, but you can even use Hugging Face too. We have seen Olama, right? So let me show you Hugging Face. So you can see the models. These models, we can pull it and start playing with it. It is just an screenshot from Olama. And we can use tools like, here I have used LM Studio. And there's another one, MSTY. And this is GPT for all. It's bold.dby. For bold.dby is basically for web development. And there are some cases where you're not going to get access to graphical user interfaces. We use tools like Aider or Olama directly in terminal. So Aider is a better alternative than Olama terminal based one. So we will go through Aider also. So wherein you are not going to get access, wherein you don't have access to graphical interface, or maybe it's completely non-GUI, complete terminal based, right? They go for terminal based because they want to reduce the surface area to avoid hackings. And even visual code, we can, embed the model and start working on it. This visual code, and we can use continue extension, and we can plug in the model and start generating the code or modify the code. We can even fix the bugs, or you can even generate text cases. When it comes to projects, these are the list of projects that we are going to have. So it will have at least 10 to 15 projects. By the end of the course, you'll gain at least 1 to 2 years of experience, real-time experience. Okay, these are a few screenshots of the projects, how we execute it and how it's going to be. This is image reading project. If you provide an image, it's going to read the image and provide the complete analysis. And this document reader, so we can attach the documents. Suppose if you have private documents, LLMs can't answer it. So we have a project on it, wherein we can upload the documents and we can query these documents. It's going to answer it. So there is another project wherein we can plug into Reddit kind of social media platform and find out the latest news on any topic that you choose or any channel that you choose. This Azure project, this again AWS project example, this AWS Bedrock example, and this Azure AI Foundry. So totally, it's basically from Monday to Friday, 1 hour per day, around 3 months, 3.5 months. Right. When it comes to fee, you can contact institute. In some case, we may have sessions on weekends also. So something that not more than 3 to 4 overall course I'm speaking about. Okay. So by the end of the course, you'll get 2 years of real-time experience.
Yep.
So any question?
Yeah, no. I think it take almost 3 months to complete the all AI course. I think.
Right. So everything is moving towards generative AI.
Yep.
So the old stacks that we had, whether web development or DevOps or whatever, things are changing towards generative AI. So
Yeah.
earlier it used to be, let me show you. Earlier it used to be hardware, and we'll have kernels and shells, terminals, right? So let's take
Yes.
this terminal, PowerShell. The PowerShell is one of the terminals. So we need to know the commands to get what is whatever you require. But it is bit complex, so and it is more technical. So we need applications to avoid the technical part, especially to address non-technical users. But building applications is not easy, right? Like Java stack or Mern stack or Mean stack, it requires 4 to 5 years of real-time experience. So to build an end-to-end application, production grade
Yes.
applications. But the very building of these applications require a lot of technical knowledge, isn't it? So again, right now what is happening is like we are using tools like this, the one that I have shown earlier, MSTY or terminal based kind of. We use this one and generate the code. So right now we really don't require 3 to 4 years of real-time experience. Just basic knowledge is good enough. So take any stack, Java or Mern or Mean, whatever. Just spend 3 to 4 months to learn the basics, and then start using generative AI tools. That's the reason a lot of people losing jobs. And future, it is going to move towards this one. The LMOS will replace all, and you can contact with any kind of source. It can be browser, it can be you can directly speak to it, or you can directly speak, through video, or you can have even utilities. Basically, you can directly speak to computer. Earlier, it cannot understand anything other than zeros and ones. That is the reason this whole stack we need: kernel, shell, and applications. What if the computers can understand our own language? In that direction we are moving towards. We are in that transition phase. Okay. So why a lot of people are losing jobs? Because they don't want to pay more money. So more experience you have, more use to earn. Now experience or intelligence or knowledge has been replaced with generative AI, right? Yeah, I think you were asking something. I think did I make you clear?
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yes.
So any other questions?
Yeah. No, the one.
So what's your technical background?
Yeah. I'm in integration platform right now. I'm working on a MuleSoft developer.
9 years of
So
9 years of experience you have.
no, 6 years of experience.
6 years. Okay.
Yeah.
So integration platform, which one?
MuleSoft.
Okay.
Yeah. I want to change this generative AI. Want to
Yeah.
switch
In fact,
to
everyone was moving towards generative AI because it's
yeah.
basically merging all into one right now.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yeah.
So
So
it's better to learn as early as possible.
yeah, yes, this to after that we complete these sessions and all those 3 months coaching and all the sessions.
Mhm.
It will enough to attend the interviews at least 2 years of experience or 3 years. How can we can put the resume experience on this
Yeah, by the end of this
knowledge?
course, you will get 2 years experience. The thing is,
Okay.
practically speaking, you need another 3 months to practice.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So 3 months course, whatever the content we deliver, If at all you could practice right on the same day, right?
Yeah.
So if you can able to spend 2 to 3 hours a day apart from the session, so you can
Yes.
easily crack any interview in another 3.5 months. But practically
Oh,
speaking, it takes 6 months.
okay. Okay.
You need to spend another 3 months to practice it.
Yes.
So, but it's going to be helpful for another 10 to 15 years.
Yes. Yes.
And whatever the course that we have drafted, we don't have any assumptions apart from the basic program knowledge you need to have. Right? That is
Yeah.
something must and essential to survive in software industry. But in whether it is Python basics or mathematics, statistics, or any other thing, so we haven't assumed anything that to take up this course. So you can take up without even any knowledge on AI or generative AI. So we'll start with
Yes.
basics. That includes machine learning basics, machine learning internals, and then deep learning basics. So let me show you how we're going to machine learning internals. So we'll explain you in detail like what is scaling, what is resampling, how do we balance the data set, Bayesian trees, principal component analysis, the gradient descent. So basically, like how what you might have some idea about model, but how does it really work internally? So I have prepared the script. You don't get it online. So this will explain you in detail, like step by step. Basically, we provide it as an assignment to students. So this will make sure, like how this model being created internally under the hood. Not just that, deep learning, you will have almost 5 to 6 sessions on deep learning itself. These are all the concepts that we are going to discuss. That includes DL, deep learning. It is around 200 pages, deep learning itself. And RNN, around another 8 some pages, which is essential for generative AI. And CNN, for images, videos. See, a convolutional neural network is architecture that we use. Of course, there are more advanced ones, but to start with CNN. So the detailed notes will be provided to you. That includes scripts, not just documents. You can see that for this, take this one. So the whole notes will be provided to you.
Yeah.
So that will, if you, of course, online it is very much available, but it takes a lot of time for beginner to prepare on their own, just by watching videos online or anywhere, like scripts especially. You don't get production grade scripts, and you get a lot of bugs. Whatever script that you get in GitHub or YouTube or any course that they provide is going to outdated. So we'll provide you up-to-date scripts, and Google Classroom is something that we provide to you, and we'll share the scripts. So right now we have yeah. So let me take. So this is how we provide the scripts. So the ongoing batches. This is only on generative AI, concepts, projects, various others, right? So you not to worry about notes, and you'll definitely gain 1 to 2 years of experience. Complete depends on how well you practice, and practically it takes 6 months. But we assure you, you'll get 2 years of real-time experience, and you can use the scripts that we provide in production also. Yeah, thanks for joining.